It's crazy, this thing here. This thing color. This thing called Facebook. Nah, this thing called YouTube. That's what we having a problem with. This thing called YouTube. What's going on, people? What is going on? It's your boy. They doing me wrong still. They always do this shit, right? Make you go find your shit. Oop. Well, yeah. Make you go find your stuff. Let me see. Like that. Your own stuff, man. They be hiding it. Like, they gonna hide it. I promise. But, man, smoke it if you got, but wait till 1 p.m. that MacWorld stream go northern. Goddamn. That's what's up. Stream going north. Oh, yeah. Oh, bad. I've been up since 6 this morning. I gotta share this real fast. My news feed. I don't know I'm live. And we're gonna get into it. Type shit. Yeah. Yeah. All right, there we go. Let's go. Let's get it. We gonna do that. A little bit of intro music. How y'all doing on this hump day? Hump day today, right? Goddamn hump day. Ain't it today? Wednesday? Yeah. What is it? Yeah, it's Wednesday, September 28th. I think it's little Jakari birthday. Jakari, happy birthday if you out there. I believe it's your birthday. 22nd or the 28th. One of the two. Either way go, happy birthday or happy belated. Cause yeah, I wish I had me a nice summer birthday and jet. Get no summer birthday. But let's check out Brett Favre, though. We gonna check dude out first. We gonna check out Brett Favre on prison labor. We gonna check out another good documentary I found from a good studio that I like. They did a real good documentary. They always doing good shit and always thought provoking stuff. So we gonna definitely get into them. And then we gonna talk about the fun girl. See what her problem is. She mad. The fun girl is mad. You wanna be that girl. And then you don't wanna be that girl. You know what I'm saying? Hell the fuck no. You know what I'm saying? Hell the fuck no. Let me check my ad libs real fast, y'all. Hold on.
Bitch, where's your man? You too old, bitch, to be acting like that. Hell the fuck no. Hell the fuck no. Come on, man. Knock that shit out, man.
Yeah. Brett Favre, Innuendo Studios, and then we gonna get on this girl. So let's get into it, y'all. Yeah, I've been up grinding all day, so apologize to y'all if I'm a little bit if I seem a little bit behind. And I've been quarantining because my baby got COVID, so I'm yet to see if I got it. I've been quarantining, I've been trying to keep my health up and everything, so apologize, man. But let's go ahead and get into this thing, man. MacWorld, let's go. MacWorld, the beautiful, beautiful world. What's going on with y'all people, man? Your boy Sean Mac back again, one more day. MacWorld Live, you know what we do. We discuss the twos and fews and whatnots of the day. And just try to see if we can make some sense of some of this crazy shit, you know? You know, it is what it is. But yeah, so here today, get into some stuff about Brett Favre again. I hate to bring dude up again.
Stop the cap.
I really do. I really do hate to bring him up again, but you know, we gotta properly roast and dissect Brett Favre. Because he deserved it. So one thing that people didn't know was y'all knew he was a welfare queen. Y'all knew he stole that money, right? But did y'all know that dude was looking for some prison labor though to help build the thing, to help build the gym? A little bit of background: he wanted to steal the money so he can get a gym. Brett Favre, if you don't know, is in Mississippi. Mississippi don't got no clean drinking water, so he wanted to steal money so he could build a gym. $5 million to be exact. But not only did he steal the $5 million, he also wanted prison labor to help build the thing. So let's look at that. Let's check that out. I looked it up. I started looking it up a little bit, but you know, I like for y'all to see what I see. So we gonna look up this Brett Favre prison labor thing, because I did have something that I was gonna show y'all or whatever, but the dude was kind of tripping a little bit on there. So changing plans, but let me see. Prison. Let's look. Let me let y'all see what I'm doing. Man, all right. So look, prison labor, Brett Favre. This shit crazy. Dog wanted the whole plantation. He wanted to steal some welfare money. He wanted to steal some welfare money. Then the poor people that needed the money, he wanted them to work on the building and shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy as hell. But let's see if I can find something about this prison labor thing. All right, let's look at this one right here.
Welfare funds to build a volleyball facility in Mississippi. As CBS News' Leslie Marin tells you today, text messages reveal that Favre kept pushing for the money, it seems, even after being warned it was potentially illegal.
A new bombshell court filing puts former NFL quarterback Brett Favre under further scrutiny. In it, lawyers for former Mississippi Governor Phil Bryant write, Favre continued working to obtain funds for a multi-million-dollar volleyball center at his alma mater, the University of Southern Mississippi, where his daughter played the sport at the time, despite being told it could possibly be an illegal use of state funds. The funds for this project were part of a broader state audit. It found $77 million of federal welfare grant funds meant for the temporary assistance for needy families program in Mississippi were instead used to help.
So I wonder if all the people that talk all the shit about like welfare, I wonder if they got a problem with this. If they got a problem with him just because he not what they think about when they think about somebody on welfare or misusing welfare, or even that, because that's their biggest concern is poor people getting opportunities that they don't deserve. You know what I'm saying? So what about it when a rich person do some shit, clearly rich, multi-millionaire, do some shit like this? And they big thing is they like it's taxpayer money. Okay, what happened when a rich person stealing y'all money? You know what I mean? How y'all think they feel about it? How you think they feel about it?
Come on, man. Knock that shit off, man.
But you know what it is.
Come on, man. Knock that shit off, man.
They say this is a disgusting story. Many people need to be jailed for mismanagement. Any working class American will have ruined their lives for taking a fraction of this money. Favre will never see jail time. He'll never even be charged. Exactly. That's what's so crazy about it, about this land of the free. Oh, say, can you see? Go out here, snatch a purse. You might get shot while you running away with the purse, with your saggy, dirty welfare drawers hanging down. Poor, hungry, dirty. You'll get shot in the back like an animal, right? But go out here, be filthy rich. Steal you some money, not just a little bit, not just what fit in the purse, but what can't even fit in a safe deposit box. Steal some millions, you know what I mean, and see what happened. Jack, shit. But yeah, I want to see if they say something about him wanting the prison labor though. Let's go.
Fund projects desired by the politically connected and celebrities, including Favre. In the filing, an attorney for Bryant produced text messages between his client and Favre, arguing Bryant pushed back on Favre's request for funding. In 2019, Bryant texted Favre, use of these funds is tightly controlled. An improper use could result in violation of federal law. Auditors are currently reviewing the use of these funds by Families First. As soon as the audit is complete, we will know if the project at USM is a proper expenditure. Favre continued to press the governor in September, writing, we obviously need your help big time, and time is working against us, and we feel that your name is a perfect choice for this facility, and we are not taking no for an answer. You are a Southern Miss alumni, and folks need to know you are also a supporter of the university. Bryant responded, we are going.
If you ever heard people use the term the good old boy network, this is an example of that. People in high places kicking money around between each other, you know, working behind the scenes. Somebody do something a little bit illegal or pushing to do something illegal. You just turn a blind eye a little bit. But I'm gonna get to that in a second because that's kind of what I want to talk about with my next thing. It go right into my next topic about about Brett Favre on prison labor. But a lot of what I do, what I call the plantation or whatever, like, yeah, it's real shit. I mean, when I refer to it, I mean mainly in the mental capacity, in the way people choose to represent themselves because your image precedes you. Your image is your first impression. So they want to make sure if they can't control us all, they're going to control our image. They want to be the gateway to the black persons, to the black Americans' image. They don't want us, the last thing they want us doing is controlling our own image. You know what I mean? So it's something you got to think about. That's deep right there, but it's real shit. And so, yeah, let's look at what they talking about. Let's go. People ain't, and I saying that like just in case you ain't keeping up. A lot of your image got to do with how you get treated. Brett Favre don't got the image like somebody that they look at when they think of a welfare queen. So therefore, he will probably never get charged. It's some bullshit, right?
Come on, man. Knock that shit off, man.
Let's go.
Going to get there. This was a great meeting, but we have to follow the law. I am too old for federal prison. According to investigators, more than $4 million was used to build Favre's desired volleyball center. And according to the new filing, Favre also tried to secure additional funds for an indoor football arena he hoped would attract better recruits. The State Department of Human Services, led by then Director John Davis, gave more than $98 million to two nonprofits, according to the state audit. $94 million was either misspent or possibly illegally spent. One of the
people doing crime in the tune of millions of dollars, 7 and 8 figure crimes that'll never see a prison cell. America is backwards, man. It's a backwards country. And I know people like, oh man, shit. It's somebody out there thinking like, well, if you don't like it, then then leave. Shut your ugly ass up, cause I ain't going no fucking where. We been around this motherfucker. If you ain't a Native American, shut the fuck up talking to me. Don't tell me how to feel about my experience in America, because honestly, black people are living the true American experience. We don't have no innate privilege or nothing like that. Everything we do, every little inch that we get in this country, we gotta fight for that shit. And I raised a question in one of my other live streams where I said, are black people, or no, I didn't even raise the question. I said, like, basically black people, we like a political party. You know what I'm saying? The things that we do that band us together fall under the guise of being political statements, and it's not even what we doing, it's just who we are. I keep on saying, if 5, 6 black people went out here, what up, 2 guns in the building checking in, I always said, if black people went out here and all decided to wear a yellow shirt today, the next thing you know, it'll be on the news. Are black people wearing yellow shirts? What does it mean? Find out at 10 o'clock. You know what I'm saying? Everything we do is political. Enough of us start wearing dreads. It start to become looked at as a statement. You know what I'm saying? Enough of us, the dreads of the 2000s are the afros of the 70s. It's your damn hair growing out your head, but eventually everything we do, it get boiled down, and they try and tell us all they racism is classism, is all this other stuff, but no, it all come back down to who we are, and what they like to build as a culture war, but it's really just psychological warfare on us that been going on, and I'm gonna explain it a little bit further. But let me see if I could find where it's talking about dog ass wanted that prison labor, Brett Favre and shit, because they just really still grilling them about that money. But the prison labor thing is something that is kind of a new development. So let me see. I'm gonna try and see if I can find it here.
There, Brett Favre, Phil Bryant, who's also in his own right a rich guy, they are misappropriating, they are stealing money, taxpayer dollars for stupid things. And this, look, listen, it should not escape you the racial implications here. Because while Mississippi is roughly 38 or 39% black, and we're going to get into this prison thing, the prison population is wildly larger than the general population of black people in Mississippi. The jails, 57% of the jails are filled with black people. And the prisons, 62% of the prison population in Mississippi is black. While again,
look, Mississippi basically still a plantation shit. Mississippi got more black folks in jail than they do out of jail. More black people in jail than out of jail. Come on, man. That should tell you some shit right there. And this the state where they ain't got no clean drinking water. And this where Brett Favre taking $5 million with the help of the mayor. So, see, I just showed y'all the text messages and all that they had when he was trying to get the money. But also, if you remember later in the story, they talked about them building the facility. Like, so, even with all that bullshit, good guy shit he said, and I ain't too old for prison and all that, and all the funds are going to be used like this and that, they still built dude facility. So, that lets you know, man, they went on ahead and did what the fuck they want to do. And for all these people in jail, Brett Favre will never see none of their ass. You know what I'm saying? He will never go to jail. He could still, Brett Favre could turn around and do this shit all over again today. You know what I'm saying? And he still wouldn't fucking go to jail and shit. And that's just the way this country's set up and shit. And I'm going to get to that shit, right? Because that Innuendo studio, the cost of doing business, man, that shit hit me like a ton of bricks. That's where I got the thumbnail from. They got the little cartoon character. It's a good ass channel called Innuendo Studios. And they do a lot of basically what I call white history. It's a white dude breaking down the psychology of whiteness and shit. And for me as a black person, man, that shit it's a hard watch, but it's a motherfucking eye opener and shit. So yeah, I'm gonna show y'all a little bit of that. Y'all gonna be like, wow. Cause he break it down, and it's to hear this white dude breaking this shit down about white people, man, it sound crazy almost, but we gonna get into that. That's coming up in a minute. We gotta get on Brett Favre. So let's finish cooking his ass, and then I'm gonna get on to this a little bit more interesting thing and shit, cause I'm fed up with Brett Favre ass. You just need a swift kick in the ass from whoever closest to him. You know what I'm saying? Closest black person to Brett Favre out there, kick him square in his ass. You know what I'm saying? That's a order. That's a Yeezus order. Whoever out there, kick Brett Favre square in his ass. Yeezy says out. No, I was just talking shit. Let's go.
remember, 38% of the state is. That is fodder for a video of its own. But the fact that Brett Favre, and I'm going to read from this Mississippi Today article, Brett Favre wanted prison labor, not wealthy enough to actually donate some money to have members of a union go in, they're skilled in this trade to build. He wanted prisoners to do it for free.
And just in case y'all didn't know, Brett Favre, he's a proud Trump supporter. He's a proud stop the steal. Like, he with all that fuck shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, all that is code words for neo-Nazi to me. That's how I look at it, right? So we talking about neo-Nazi welfare queen Brett Favre, you know what I'm saying? We not cutting him no slack. We grilling his ass. And first of all, we want everybody to really ask him,
What is your man?
because he's stealing from the poor and giving to the rich, and he already rich. And he wanted some free ass labor. Let's go. Bum ass nigga.
Later, in May of 2018, Favre reached out again to Governor Bryant for help constructing lockers for the facility. Quote, "I'm still trying to save money on the volleyball facility," Favre texted. Favre even suggested the prison industry, possibly as a builder. Quote unquote, "The prison industry possibly as a builder," said Brett Favre. Gross.
Relying on prison labor to build his volleyball stadium. Not only stealing money from the neediest families in Mississippi, but then also wanting to exploit human beings to build the volleyball stadium. I mean,
Yeah, man. So we ain't gonna dig real deep into Brett Favre because we all know he a little bitch. You know what I'm saying? A little thief. Brett Favre is a hood rat. He on welfare and he a thief. You know what I'm saying? Everybody you know who get a welfare check and they a thief, they a hood rat. Brett Favre needs some eyelashes and a little wig. Little hood rat ass nigga. Nah, but that's fucked up though. It's bad enough he stole millions of dollars from people that needed it, that ain't even got clean water to drink like they in a third world country. But on top of that, let's say they would have had to do some things to survive and ended up in jail like most of the population in Mississippi, most of the black population. He would have turned around and hired them then or tried to get them to work for free like some Hebrew slaves building his daughter's volleyball facility and shit.
Come on, man, knock that shit off, man.
So, Brett Favre, you was a bitch. And that's all I got to say about dude, man. But, you know, the way he think and everything like that, what I want to show y'all is that it's not the exception, it's the norm. And that's what people don't want to face, right? It's a lot of people that they would do things like Brett Favre did and not even have a moral dilemma about it because of the way they look at things or whatever. The way they choose to look at things and the way they look at the place of other people. And so I'm looking at something and it's talking about like racism and racial disparities and all that. And basically it pointed out something that I kind of already knew, but it's always different when you kind of know something to hear it explicitly stated to you, you know, because that shit just make it real. Like you could be like, man, I think this, I think that. Then somebody actually come out and say that shit. And that's how I felt when I watched this video called The Cost of Doing Business. My bad, my audio, y'all. Had my audio muted. Oops. But yeah, so this Innuendo Studios right here. And this is the shit that y'all need to learn. So I went to playlist. I'm on Innuendo Studios. I'm on the playlist. And what you really want to look at is right here. The alt-right playbook. You know what I'm saying? I call this right here. This like the breakdown of like basic like white social history. It help you understand a lot of different shit. It got some good ones. It got the introduction. And it's talking about what they do. If you don't know what the alt-right is, let's just say it's like the majority of America today and shit, of white America, right? And the way they think and what they are thinking and why they thinking that way. And it's interesting to see because you will get confused trying to fight against something that, you know, if it's something that somebody don't even see as a problem, they not gonna do it. But we gotta identify a lot of this shit in order to really work around it or dispel it. So it's a lot of good topics on here. Control the conversation, play defense. What I mean when I say the right, mainstreaming, death of a euphemism, that was a good one. You go high, we go low, that was a good one. Look at it got a little fake Barack, little cartoon. That's funny right there. But this the one I was looking at, and this their latest video, and it's called the Alt-Right Playbook. The Cost of Doing Business is the name of it,
Front of
right?
his odd
So I gotta show
his
y'all
words
this.
in front of millions of people instead of just
I'm gonna show y'all this right here, cause this is something interesting to where, especially if you've been to college and you got quote unquote educated, quote unquote white friends, then you will feel this part right here at the beginning. You will feel this part. So let me start it. I'm gonna start it from right at the beginning. I'm gonna kind of jump around a little bit. Shout out to Innuendo Studios, man. I'm dropping an excellent video. The Alt-Right Playbook, Cost of Doing Business. Let's look at it. Let's look at the intro to it. Let's go.
say, for the sake of argument, there's this, call him a provocateur, a conservative who makes his living off being a public figure, saying scandalously evil things in public because controversy equals attention, and attention equals brand recognition. He gets his writing gigs and interviews and guest spots, sometimes because people agree with the awful things he says. More often it's because he gets views. His economy runs on engagement, and hate clicks are still clicks. One revenue stream is speaking engagements, the college campus circuit. Fans at, let's say, UC Emeryville invite him as a guest lecturer. But UCE is broadly a progressive campus, which means his presence there would likely provoke
Fake ass college. That's like the one college off in a different world. It was called, like, I forget. Would somebody tell me what's the name of the fake college on a different world? Because I want to say it was Spelman, but I think it was something else. I think Spelman is real. It was something that had a fake ass college on there, but UC Emory, this is a fake ass college. That's funny as hell. The names they be coming up with, but yeah, check it out. Let's go. Sidetrack.
a lot of outrage, maybe even a protest. And a protest would be pretty flippin' sweet. Protest means local news coverage, maybe more than local. Hell, the conservative media machine loves taking stories like this and blowing them up to national importance. If he plays his cards right, he could get his words in front of millions of people instead of just the student body of UC Emeryville. Of course, he's gonna take that gig. But the progressive students at UCE are wise to his tricks. They've seen him pull this stunt at other UCs, Stockton, Bakersfield.
Now this the part where it get interesting, because it show how, like, we get caught up, black people, in a meta game as far as racism being so ingrained. And I guess, yeah, that'll be my over arc to let me really know, to let you know what's going on. It's like you have a form of racism, like I said, default racism. It's like it's so ingrained into American society. It's not even a question about getting rid of it. It's about, like, working with it. Like, what we know, is you the person dealing with it, you might want to get rid of it. But how other people understand it, like, it's just default for them. It's the way things are. So what they more or less do is go back in a kind of a meta game or a kind of a proxy game, using black people and using racism as the catalyst to make points to each other. He gonna explain that shit, but man, I promise you this shit is real, dude. I have seen this with my own two eyes. Let's go.
Vacaville. So they make the decision, we're not gonna protest. We're just gonna let him speak. Let the boy stamp his feet, and in a month, no one will even remember he was here. As the date approaches and the provocateur sees he's not getting the response he wants, he starts hinting things on social media, trying to bait a reaction. Psst. Psst, hey. I'm gonna make jokes about the Holocaust. I'm gonna say Americans treated their slaves well. Nothing. So he ups the ante, makes it personal. I'm gonna put up pre-transition photos of your trans students. I'm gonna out the queer students I've seen on Grindr. I'm gonna name which of your students I think are illegal immigrants. Student body's like, bro, do your worst. Nobody's falling for it. Until one student's like, hold up. He's gonna dox immigrants in front of his audience of white nationalist gun nuts, and we're just gonna let him? You know.
Hey, so right there, right? Where he said you have one side, you'll have some white people like, yeah, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. They don't say they're gonna do nothing directly to no other white people or whatever, or another, with that being enjoying the same privilege as them. They go after the other people that they figure, oh, these are the people you supposed to care about. And it's like, oh, I'm gonna do this to them, I'm gonna do that to them, I'm gonna do this to them. Like, and a lot of times he pointed out how the other, like the liberal white person or whatever, they would be feeling like, oh, well, I'm just going to let you do it because I'm not going to fall for it. I know you're just trying to get a reaction out of me. It's like, yeah, I'm going to go over here. Like, okay, I'll give you a better example, more extreme example or whatever. It's like, yeah, I'm finna go over here and do some racist shit in the black neighborhood or whatever, just to get a reaction or whatever. Like, and they know that it's to get a reaction. So they are feeling like, well, let's just ignore him when he does the thing, when he does the racist thing, let's just ignore him. And that's cool for the other white person in a meta game that they playing, but for the black person they actually do the racist thing to, or the whatever, Asian person or whatever, it's a real problem for them. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's one thing for them to be like, well, we're not gonna feed into it, but hey, what you not feeding into is the shit I gotta put up with. So it's like, man, I'm gonna let him keep explaining it, man, because he was doing a good job. So let's go.
Know some of his fans were in Charlottesville, right? What we're seeing here is a game of chicken between one group of white conservative reactionaries and one group of, let's be honest, mostly white liberals, for whom the stakes are who gets paid attention to. The provocateur doesn't have the ammunition nor the optics to attack privileged liberals directly, so he pokes and prods at various social minorities whom privileged liberals are supposed to care about, until he gets a reaction. Going after people of color is a pure Xanatos gambit for his fans. Either they get a protest and a national audience hears their reactionary rhetoric, or there's no protest and they get to fuck with some immigrants.
Oops, my bad. I'm gonna go back a little bit just so y'all can see what he said, because it's like, I done been a part of this meta game where you have people arguing for you, but the last thing that either side gonna do, the side that claim to be for you or the side that claim they against you, is gonna listen to you. I always say that shit. Like, I would have like my friends, and they might, like my white friends, they might argue with and I'm their only black friend, right? And then they might argue with some of they white friends and family that don't even got a black friend or nothing like that, and they will be like, yeah, this is like this, or that's like that, or this or that and the third. And I would be thinking like, shit, I mean, like, the stuff y'all arguing about, I know about firsthand. Y'all could ask me, but I always got that feeling that it wasn't about asking me, because that make it too real. You know what I'm saying? And that's how it is. I'm going to go back. Let's go. Listen to what he said.
The provocateur doesn't have the ammunition nor the optics to attack privileged liberals directly, so he pokes and prods at various social minorities whom privileged liberals are supposed to care about, until he gets a reaction. Going after people of color is a pure Xanatos gambit for his fans. Either they get a protest and a national audience hears their reactionary rhetoric, or there's no protest and they get to fuck with some immigrants. And because white liberals are largely ignorant to the threat posed to those immigrants, white liberals are not great at assessing the full scope of the danger. Often enough, this remains to them an argument about ideas and principles.
And that's what used to get on my nerves with some of my white friends or whatever that I had when a discussion about like racism. Y'all ever wondered this? And I know I ain't the only black person that wondered this. Y'all ever wonder how they got racist family, like real racist family that's like super racist friends, all that shit. You know what I'm saying? They might even have some family members that was literal Nazi sympathizers and shit like that. And they will have these super racist people and know about them and have known them for years and years and years. But they will still act like they don't really see the problem with racism and shit. Like, as far as like when you talk about it, they look at it like, well, it can't be that serious, is it? And it's because of this reason right here. They never are going to experience it. So for them, it's all about like ideas and principles. It don't got no real world effect on them. It's a zero sum game for them. That's why I said racism is default. It's one thing to, like, you can choose if you want to feel bad about it. Like, as a white person, look, you're never going to experience it and you're going to benefit from it, right? So you could choose if you want to feel bad about it. You know what I'm saying?
Come on, man. Knock that shit out, man.
But overall, for you to do something about it, it's going to take some sacrifice on your end and like some fighting actually on your end. Not like physically, but like, it's some principles and norms and shit that you're gonna have to break. Cause like I said, in America, racism has been made the default. That's why the disconnect. Look at the little kid, the little the little POC person of color kid. He wondering like, he looking like, dude, this shit is serious. And y'all talking about it like it's just ideas and principles. Like, man, these neo-Nazis will really come after me. And then they'll be thinking like, well, just ignore them and just leave them alone. Then when something happened to you, it's different. Let's go.
Principles. To them, they are but words. Until someone gets hit by a car or shot, and then it's who could have predicted? The provocateur's animating force is not hatred of people of color. It's hatred of white liberals, just as white liberals' animating force is less advocacy for people of color than moral victory over conservatives. Neither side.
Wow. Y'all hear that? And if you watching this, do y'all see that? This is what I'm talking about right here. This is the info you need to be learning. Not like no Umar. I mean, Dr. Umar cool and all that, but this white folks telling you how white people think. It don't get no realer than this, and it's not going to get no realer than this. You know what I'm saying? So when they tell you that, when they supporting you, it's about having a moral victory over their racist counterparts. And then for the other people, when they doing some shit fucked up to you, it ain't even about necessarily that they benefit from it. It's just about being able to do something to get on the people's nerves that's supporting you, that ain't on board with what they think. Man, it's like we caught up in the meta game and shit, and your goal is, and really both sides want you to just normalize it. Both sides. And that's the problem. And that's what we gonna have to talk about, that shit, people. We gonna have to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna have to be a discussion. What are we gonna normalize? Are we gonna just say, oh man, this is our place, we gotta just stay in our place? Or is a motherfucker gonna try to do something different? And there might be some cost to it, but that's the cost. That's why the ancestors be looking like, man, y'all dropping the ball, man. Nah, let's keep on dissecting this shit though. Come on, let's go.
Acknowledges people of color as entities in this fight. They're viewed as tools for getting white people what they want, and their suffering is viewed as an acceptable byproduct. You've maybe heard the phrase, in the game of patriarchy, women are not the opposing team, they are the ball. Well, in the game of imperialist, white supremacist, capitalist patriarchy, minorities are not the opposing team. They are the cars, store windows, and newspaper kiosks that get wrecked when the home team loses. Or when the home team wins. It's the Eagles fan view of oppression. And make no mistake, weaponizing or disregarding students of color is still racism. But it's racism of a kind most white people have trouble recognizing, or to speak with a sharper edge, that white people often refuse to acknowledge. From the white provocateur who does not hate minorities directly, but is willing to utilize the hatred of others to get what he wants from some white people, who says, "I will hurt them a lot just to hurt you a little," to the white liberal who does mental gymnastics to not come out and say, "That is a black and brown sacrifice I'm willing to make." Racism is not always a passion, but it is tolerable, usable, easy to disregard. In a white supremacist world, it is the cost of doing business.
Breathe it right there. And that's what I wanted to get to right there. Perfect freeze frame. Racism is the cost of doing business. That's the title of this video, the cost of doing business. And that's what they saying is the cost of doing business right there, right? In America. Like, so basically, in a nutshell, because I don't want to break down too much of the video, they deserve to get that view from y'all, and I really want y'all to go watch it, check it out, so we could discuss it a little bit further. But as you see how we put it, it's one more part in this video I do want to show y'all, though, how he is breaking it down. But for the most part, you will see. Okay, no, this one part I do want to show y'all right here. Let me see. All right, you see where it say, what does whiteness mean to white people? All right, let me show y'all this. Y'all gotta watch this. Man, listen. I hope y'all is watching this shit. You know what I'm saying? This is some tripped out shit, man. Like, put this on your brain. Put this in your pipe and smoke this shit for real, because it's gonna be some things you come across. I'm talking about right now that you're gonna be like, man, why is it like this and like that? Man, the answers is out here. If you lack knowledge, yeah, you're gonna suffer like the Bible say. But man, that's why, you know, we gotta, man, educate each other. This shit right here is tripped out. So check this out. This is the other part of the video I wanted to show y'all real fast. Let's go.
American racial discourse has 4 principal white characters. On the far right end, you've got the guy white people picture when they hear the word racist. Your Klansman, your neo-Nazi, your suit and tie ethno-nationalist. This guy knows he's a racist, and he's proud of it. Next to the white supremacist, you've got the white collaborator. The politician, public figure, or businessman who does not agree with the white supremacist on paper, but will seek out their votes, attention, or money. Next to the collaborator, you've got the white moderate, people who ostensibly believe in racial justice as an end goal and are...
Oops, I forgot to mute my mic. My bad about y'all if it was double feedbacking, but nah, this is my friends right here. This is the category that a lot of, if you are black and you have white friends, this category right here is the category where a lot of them fall into right here, the white moderate. You know what I'm saying? And so just keep that in mind as he goes through this dynamic. And yeah, let's go.
Are somewhat committed to bringing it about, but only with the cooperation of the white collaborator. It wouldn't be fair to do it without their consent, you see, and...
Oh, and yeah, right there. If you look at, but then the second bullet point is the problem right there. And that's where you're going to run into the dilemma with your blackness. And that's where a lot of y'all choose to put your plantation hat on. And that's where you are encouraged by your white counterpart, whether they view themselves as racist or not. That's where things get tricky with them, and they start feeling uncomfortable. They start sweating a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, okay, I'm for black people having equality, and I think they should get what they deserve. You know what I'm saying? But they also don't feel like they should do it themselves. They also feel like no matter what they do, and this is like I always say, Plantation Nation and shit, whatever we do, we need to check with them. If we don't do it with them, even if it's good, they fear it being done without them having to say in it. people want to keep what they fought for. Don't think the privilege that white folks, like when we was fighting for civil rights, we wasn't fighting for nobody. We was fighting them, fighting against civil rights. Like they were against it. Like, and they beat us back a lot. They killed a lot of people. A lot of blood, sweat, and tears was like we did to get ahead. They put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into holding us back. You know what I'm saying? And what people fought for, they still want to maintain. They might not be proud of it, but they still want their privilege. They still want their default status as the norm. You know what I'm saying? Let's go.
Thus, the white moderate spends a lot less time opposing collaborators than appealing to their better natures. They tend to operate on behalf of people of color rather than with them. Plainly put, the cost of doing business maneuver is this group using this group to attack this group, using people of color as their weapon of choice. It is white supremacy in the form of 3 groups of white people fighting amongst themselves. Finally, on the far opposite end, you have the honest-to-goodness anti-racist, where the racist will support white supremacy, the
anti-racist, that's my guy from the thumbnail. Hey, turn up. Let's go.
collaborator uphold white supremacy, and the moderates seek to reform white supremacy. Only the anti-racist is trying to get rid of it. And even they are not free from racial bias. And if you...
Now that's one thing I could say, right? Like, I've never had a friend that was anti-racist. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had friends that didn't see themselves as racist because they didn't flat out support it. You know what I'm saying? But they wasn't also against it either. I had friends that they would call themselves being friends with me, and they had overtly like super racist friends, and I had to cut them motherfuckers off because it's like, bro, I don't trust you. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no way that you around me and thinking one way and feeling one way, then you go around them and you feeling another way and shit. And my one friend, he brought one of his racist guys over my house and shit, and I was finna beat dude ass. Like, he don't know how close dude was to getting his ass whooped, but I just got him up out of here real fast and shit, and I just let him know, like, man, don't bring dude over my house no more, bro. Like, I just told him flat out like that. Like, really, I felt like he was almost like testing me coming over there, or like it's like I felt like it was a racist move to even bring him over there. Like, you would never take my black ass to his house, but you would bring dude to my shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, I don't know. Whatever. But yeah, I never had an anti-racist white friend and shit. Let's go.
You tell one of them, you are not free from racial bias, it's not guaranteed they will react well. It's just, if you're trying to fight white supremacy, they're the white folks you have the best odds with. Now, this little chorus line is not how white people typically frame the situation. We usually think of racism as a binary. There are racists, and there are non-racists. In that framing, the provocateur is someone whose allegiance we get to debate. He willingly sacrifices people of color, but without personally hating them. Does that count as #racism? This debate lasts approximately the rest of your goddamn life, which should be evidence enough that the frame is wanting.
And that's what it's designed to do. Like, that's racism. If I'm a white person, I'm benefiting from racism, I want the scope of that shit to just be an idea for a discussion. I don't want it to be something that I'm actually trying to get rid of, because I benefit from that shit, right? You know what I'm saying? So I really ain't trying to like actively be like, man, I don't want this system of me being the default of everything to change. Like, nah, you're not really doing that. You know what I'm saying? You're not really doing that like that. You know, got that passion for change. Like, so yeah, identifying this shit is crazy. I think it might have been one more part of this video that I wanted to show y'all. There's one more part I wanted to show y'all. Let me see. He was breaking some shit down, boy. I swear. Let's go. Let's go. I'm just go to a random part in the video, man, because it was so much. He breaking down the white moderate again. And so I go right there. Let me see. Let me see something. Man, I'm talking about this video was so good, man. It's so fucking good. All right, let's go from here. Let's go.
Reframed as a critical long-term goal, but in the present moment, while we are competing for elected office, guaranteeing the minority vote is a luxury. What's prioritized is that the people who suppressed the black vote in order to win elections not be made to feel that they are racist. Because, I mean, what if they genuinely believe the Voting Rights Act unfairly targets southern states? Or even if, and I'm saying if here, they did do it to suppress votes. If hurting black people isn't their goal and they're just trying to win elections, is that really racist? Moderates are very cagey about breaking out the R word for a fellow white person. See, there's this other definition of racism that most white people learn in grade school. Racism is when you say mean things to other kids about skin color and it hurts their feelings. Racism is about cruelty, and harm done by white people, therefore, is not racism if it isn't cruel, if it's merely ignorant or apathetic. But ignorance and apathy can be reasoned with. You just gotta sit down and hash it out, as long as it takes.
And that's part of the issue that you don't understand. Like when y'all see how they see a serial killer and it's a white dude and they go get him a burger and some fries and stuff like that. It's like they see themselves as default good people that have, like, they can't be bad, like they can go off the rails. But then also for them to be default good people, guess who got to be the default bad person? That the good ones are the exception, but the bad is the norm. You know what I'm saying? Like, it get deep, man. You know what I'm saying? Keep your motherfucking eyes open, man. Keep your mind clear. Keep that third eye open. Let's go.
Real white supremacy is about emotional distress or interpersonal violence. It's uncommon, it's unpopular, and it's a hearts and minds issue. What this definition leaves out is any notion that white supremacy is about power. That white people who disavow racism still live longer, get paid better, get arrested less often, and are typically in position to negotiate with whomever's in power. That this society was built for the everyman, and being the everyman confers power upon you. When children of white moderates get older and first brush up against this definition, wherein white supremacy is not small, but all-encompassing, where it can be cruel, but is at least as often indifferent, and where every white person in the country is bound up in it and privileged by it, whether they want to be or not, and will never, ever experience it themselves, where it's not about feelings, but about power. How often do they say, oh, maybe the definition I grew up with was simplified for 9-year-olds? Or, oh, maybe the definition given to me by white grown-ups was less complete than one a black grown-up might have given? And how often do they say, you can't just redefine racism? Right out the gate, the white moderate is possessive not just of their whiteness, but of the very definition of racism.
And that's another issue that I always have. It's like, when you tell somebody some shit is racist, or you talk about experiencing racism, they do this thing where I call white people in that shit. And that's what he talking about right now. Where he say the white moderate is possessive of not just their whiteness, but the very definition of racism. It's like white people in is where you separate a person's actions from how they felt. or how they feel. So if I do something, my black ass, my actions speak louder than my words, and I'm getting held accountable for my actions. But a lot of times white people, they could do a bunch of shit, but it gets called alleged, like all the way up until it's been proven in the court of law. Even if they did something, it's getting called alleged. And so they got the benefit of the doubt of society already othering them from their own actions, and then it has to be looked at psychologically. It looks like he did it to all black people, but how did he feel at the time? At the time, was he thinking racist thoughts? Like, it gotta be broke down to, man, how you felt exactly at that moment to be called racist and shit. And I know we sit up and we be like, how can y'all not see that's racist? Man, they've never experienced racism, so how could they know if something is racist or not? To them, it's all just things that and a lot of that shit, like low key, they be kind of feeling it. I be thinking this, like when we see a Karen freaking out, to us it look like a freak out, but to a lot of them white folks that be watching it, they be feeling that shit. Like they be like, they know what she's going through. Like when she's freaking out on a black person, they feel that shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? That ain't abnormal to them. Think about that shit. Let's go.
In the definition they know, racism exists only over here. And the white collaborator is a compatriot who shares their ultimate vision for the future and is simply gone off course somewhere. And they don't see themselves as flawed individuals with a long way still to go. They've already arrived. They're the destination everyone else needs to get to. Living proof that white supremacy can be easily and painlessly opted out of. They can't see collaborators as opponents because there is no definition of white supremacy that includes collaborators and doesn't also include them. And this is critically important. They don't want to start thinking of themselves as white.
And I noticed this. This is where, this is how you know, this is your moderate white supremacist friends. This is, I don't see color right here. It's a privilege. And that's always what I used to tell. I used to tell my white friends that, and they used to shut the fuck up. They'll be like, man, I don't see color, man. I don't see color. I used to be like, I do see color, but I'm just not treating people different because of their color. You shouldn't aim to be colorblind and look at some as people as they don't exist, because that worked for you being white, being the default. Like, that worked for you. You cannot see color, and that's fine. I could say, okay, I don't see color, and that shit'll get me fucking shot for going through the wrong neighborhood, or feeling like I could talk to the police like how you talk to them because you don't see color, but you look like them. And even if I don't see color and you don't see color, nigga, America was built on color and shit.
Stop the cap.
So that shit ain't gonna fly. But I noticed this, what he said right here. He said, your white moderate friends don't want to start thinking of themselves as white. Goddamn. So I'm let him finish breaking it down, because it's deep. And I know we going over the hour mark. I'm going to finish up this last topic. Give me a minute. Let's go.
They don't want the constant awareness of one's race and how one's race is perceived. You know, the things the rest of humanity deals with. And who would want that? I'll tell you who wants that. Nazis and Klansmen want that. They're the only ones who like thinking about whiteness every day. So white moderates cling to the other definition, the comfortable one. They may be more or less willing to collaborate with people of color, but mostly in ways that don't foreground their whiteness. White as default is one concession that can never be made, in part because it's the one that can't be spoken. Their ideal is a kind of big tent anti-racism, where victory comes by winning over reactionary conservatives. That might strike you as odd, given that reactionary conservatives have seen many victories over the last 20 years, and it's not like they did it by winning over us. White supremacists bolster their numbers by finding little disgruntled pockets of America that have not heretofore engaged much in politics, and radicalizing them to the cause, and then pitching themselves to white collaborators as a demographic now large enough to sway a narrow election. If moderates wanted to counter this strategy, they might look at who out there is sympathetic to progressive causes but isn't voting. Maybe because they don't feel liberal candidates represent them. Or maybe because someone just happened to shut down all the polling locations in their neighborhood. And, mathematically, there's probably a lot more disenfranchised people of color who match that description than racist white people who aren't already Republicans. But that strategy would mean doubling down on anti-racist talking points instead of easing off of them. It would mean a willingness to alienate some white people. It's giving up on them.
And at the forefront of all this, man, black outreach and all this and that, man, look, they're not gonna do nothing for black people that steps on white people's toes. That's the bottom line. It's nothing that we gonna have that we don't get for ourselves. And even the things that we did get for ourselves, it's so crazy how if we try to get it as a group, they will shut it down. So we damn near got to do it as individuals. It's like a plantation for real, man. Like trying to escape. You got to figure out how the fuck you gonna get free from what they want you to be and what they only gonna allow you to be. And they will mumbo jumbo your ass into living in, in circles and into not investing in circles and building upon things because, man, you too busy caught up in that game being used as a pawn between two different groups of people. I always said that, like, the two political parties is just like good cop, bad cop racism and shit. One party want to put their foot in your ass. The other party want to tell you, like, we'll get them next time. Like, they want to help you, but not too much. You know what I'm saying? The other party want to basically don't want you to get ahead, and they standing on that. You know what I'm saying? And for the party that make it seem like they helping you, they really not, but they like, well, we not doing what they doing. You know what I'm saying? At least we ain't them. But at the end of the day, you got to help your own self. You know what I'm saying? And this shit get deep, man. So I'm gonna look at a little bit more of it, and then we gonna go to the next topic. This last topic about the fun girl. Let's go.
It's admitting that a significant percentage of American whiteness is not on the side of racial equity. It means there's a definition of racism where it isn't fringe, but common and pervasive, and where addressing it requires thinking about their place in it. It means asking why they feel more affinity for white people who oppose them than people of color they claim to agree with. Why the votes of the former have to be earned, but the latter are expected. And since all that seems intolerable, they fixate on the kinds of gestures that feel like moving in the right direction, but run very little risk of arriving anywhere. How about instead of defunding the police, we give them more money than any administration in years, but also Juneteenth is a national holiday now. Something for everyone. The left has the numbers to leave behind white centrists who slow down anti-racist efforts. And it doesn't, because white moderates don't want to. They and the white...
That's the bottom line, and that's the truth. They don't want to... It's a game. It's like good cop, bad cop. Racism is default. That's the default. You know what I'm saying? For both sides. For me, for you, for them. Like, for even them to say, oh, I'm a flat out racist, and no, I'm not, you're wrong. For everybody, it's the default. You know what I'm saying? That we have to fight against. Like, the shit is crazy, man. And I want to show y'all that, and just point that out to y'all, man. Watch the video though. It's some more on there, and they made one good point in there when it was like they try and say it's about class and all that to try to cover it up, but it always go back to racism, or it always end up going back to a culture war, because you could classes and stuff could switch, and you could switch your religion and all that, but black people can't stop being black. So when it come down to othering people, you start to go to the factors that can't be changed. You know what I'm saying? While you try to play like it's not really about that stuff. It goes down to having to narrow people down to what they can't change, because otherwise you won't have a basis for your hatred or whatever points you trying to make to achieve whatever outcome you trying to achieve. You feel me? So yeah, that's that, man. I know I got a little bit deep on that one right there because I really wanted y'all to see that shit. But yeah, that's that shit. So for this last topic, you know, I'ma ease back out. You know, we got a little bit of heavy, but we going back over to something I seen last night, and I seen this shit, and I was just thinking how many people that I know that kind of think in this manner. And she don't, it's like it's a disconnect in her brain or something like that. Like she was asking some dumbass questions. I'm gonna try to make this quick for y'all. I'm gonna try to make this one quick for y'all or whatever. Y'all gotta listen to this girl right here.
This now.
Hold on. And it's something about her I'm gonna point out. I don't like that shit. She look like a fucking clown anyway, but I'm gonna point this shit out to y'all though. Hold on. Alright, let's go.
I said it and worded it way better than I ever could have, because I have been saying this with my best friend for the longest now, to where it's like if you look a certain way, it's like these men act like they are just like, it's always this certain look of female that they'll actually date and wife, because I guess they attribute it to like, oh, nice girl next door looking, like she won't possibly do this or that, she looks good on paper, I can bring her around family, this and a third, and she has the look, she has a very safe look. And myself and my best friend always talk about the fact that we feel as though because we have tattoos, I'm very tatted, y'all can't see it now, but I have a lot of tattoos, because we are tatted and have more of like I'm not gonna say like, I'm trying to find the right way to say it, I don't know, anyway, because
She want to say ghetto without saying that shit. She want to say, and her complaint right now, what she complaining about is she like college educated dudes tend to go for, her complaint is that college educated guys are not choosing to date her. They automatically avoid her because of the look that she got. And they assume because of her look that she's a certain way. And let's go. Let's see what the hell she talking about, bitch goofy.
we don't have that girl next door look, men consistently try to fun girl us, these college educated men.
So basically, you trying to say fun, who's our representative in the street, visual of a woman, to go out and choose, all on the that. Understand? Listen, some men are, y'all putting tattoos in your face. Of course, she didn't do that. Tattoos on your chest, and the others do. You understand? So because of what you chose, instead of asking some men, asking a father if you have one, asking your uncle, asking somebody, say, hey, before I get these tattoos, I want to get it here, or whatever. Should I do that? They're going to instruct you. But the problem is a lot of you modern American women don't have no instruction from a man. Then you get put in that category from men. Because when they're ready to get married, they don't want you.
It's always them. Like when it comes to like they always assume that we only like hood guys, that they assume that they know our type, and they don't even give us a chance. Because me personally, I like college educated men. I went to college and that's just what I like. I like nerds. I like fine nerds. I like squares. But these men.
That just let you know. She said she like college educated guys. She likes nerds. She likes squares. Like that just let you let you know her default for what she think a college educated guy is a nerd and a square. Your ass don't like no nerds or no squares, cause you wouldn't be talking. Don't no girls say they like no squares. First of all, don't none of you hoes like no squares. If you even using the language and professing that you know the difference between a square and what's not a square, then your ass is in the life, or you've lived the life and you don't like no fucking square. You know what I'm saying? You're not out looking for squares. You're not square if you're not a square chick. And as a matter of fact, her whole complaint on here is that she's complaining that square guys like square girls. She's talking about she likes squares, but she has a problem with the fact that the squares want a square looking chick or a regular looking chick. And she talking about she got all these tattoos and all this stuff, and she got a certain look that they avoid. It's like, where's the disconnect at? What don't you get? Why don't they want you? I don't understand that. It's stupid. Like, why would you? First of all, I don't see why you would want them. You know what I'm saying? But not do what you got to do to appeal to them. That's stupid as hell. But then, you know, I don't know. Let's see what this buckethead hoe talking about. Let's go.
I always assume that my type is like, oh, I see she's tatted. She like hood niggas.
Yes. Because you chose, ma'am, to
Having
then you need to remove all that mess off your body.
that's like, and I'm just like, why do y'all keep doing that? And then not only keep doing that, but then you keep trying to put us in this fun girl category. And the fun girl is this category where it's like, I enjoy having fun with you, but I would never wife you. You don't have.
No, what you're trying to say is I enjoy having sex with you, but I would never.
Hey, my guy funny as hell. But she lost in the sauce, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, this the bottom line, and this for all the ladies out there listening. You could be whatever the hell you want to be. Can't no man tell you nothing. It's your world, glow up, all that shit, right? But when you get done being who you want to be, just know that a man could be with whatever type of girl he choose to be with. He has choices. A man with options ain't finna choose you. You know what I mean? Like, if you choose to be something that's unbecoming of what a professional man want, that's your choice. Nobody could take that from you. Had anybody tried to take it from you, you would have fought to get them tats. You would have fought. You would have said, oh, you scared? You can't handle me. Don't tell me what to do. I ain't listening to no man. Like, in your world, you should be able to be whatever type of woman you want and get whatever type of man you want. And then you acting stupid like you don't understand the concept of making an impression. The way that you present yourself is called the impression that you're making. It's not independent of who you are. You want it to be independent of who you are to have this point. Like, this right here is an example of what I call old, dumb, and full of cum. Like, you know how they be like young, dumb, and full of, you know what I'm saying? This is old, dumb, and full of, you know what I'm saying, yum, yum. You know what I mean? Like, she older, she clearly ain't no kid, but she acting like she just don't understand basic concepts of how dating and how life work and how first impressions work and all that. She's basically advocating for, like, I should be able to look however and still get whatever type of guy I want. And I guess it ain't happening for her and she got a problem with it. But I mean, that's just gonna be something that's, you know, it's gonna be one of them things she gonna have to deal with. Cause you know, she just gonna have to deal with that. Let me see if she say some more dumb shit. Matter of fact, no, we ain't even gonna look at no more shit she's saying. We got shit to do. Nah, but the fun girl, he said they try to fun girl her. So the concept of a fun girl is like a girl you have fun with, but you wouldn't wife. You know what I'm saying? Every girl want to be seen as wife material. No, it's not true. It's not happening. And then, like, y'all will get behind closed doors and amongst each other, y'all will admit, like, girl, I ain't shit. Girl, I'm toxic. And then be one dudes to see y'all, dude, you're psychotic. If you know that you're not becoming of a wife and you're purposely doing things to attract a certain type of guy and look a certain way, then stop trying to antagonize dudes that know better. That means you're purposely trying to ruin lives. Like, you got the little life ruiner kit, you know what I'm saying? The baby hair, the eyelashes, and then when a dude want to avoid getting his life ruined, then you want to, oh, why don't they only want to have fun with us? Man, listen. Then the fact that she said it's not like I don't like hood dudes or something like that, or like she had a little disclaimer. She said, I like squares, I like nerds. But then she was like, hold up, I'm gonna go to what it said on her thing. She was like, then she had to put the disclaimer to say, like, it's not that I don't like hood dudes, because you know who you trying to attract. You know who gonna look at you. It's a innocent girl next door petite. Like, that's who she against. She against innocent girl next door. Like, any girl that look like that. It's like, and she talking about she educated and she do all this and that, and she talk fairly educated. So you one of them girls that went out of your way, and these are the types I hate the most. Like, you went out of your way to try to fit in. You went out of your way to have this hood aesthetic. You basically blackfishing. You a black person blackfishing. You could have did better or presented yourself better, but you wanted to present yourself like a little period. And now you mad that it's dudes that's avoiding that. Okay, there it go. It say, not that I don't, let me zoom in on this bullshit, because we finna get up out of here and shit, y'all. It say, not that I don't like hood dudes too, but I'm too grown to be on that type at the present. I've actually never even dated one, but it's always assumed that's my type. Man, get the fuck out of here. Assume it's always assumed that's your type. Just everybody. Why, girl? Why is everybody assuming I like hood dudes? Period. I'm saying so. Like, dude, you got the whole kit, like the whole hood rat kit. You know what I'm saying? Like, of course they gonna assume you like hood dudes. Why is it so hard to understand that what you attract is up to you? What you attract is up to you. It's not hard to figure that shit out. You know what I mean? But yeah, she was confused talking about, yeah, I'm the fun girl. I don't want to be the fun girl. Ho, you ain't got no choice, because you ain't showing no other sides of yourself. You know what I'm saying? We go back and look at her one more time. That's the girl that don't want to be the fun girl. She got makeup all on, you know what I'm saying? She got the whole little kit, man. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't saying she don't even look bad. But she looked like somebody that you get with and have fun, and then you get out of there before her makeup and her lashes and shit be makeup all on your pillow and lashes all over your floor and shit like that. You get her ass the fuck up out of there. Go find you a girl with some real hair, real booty, and you know what I'm saying, some natural good looks and shit. You know what I'm saying? But that's all I got for y'all today, man. We went over 222. We at 222. But yeah, I appreciate y'all watching, listening this hump day broadcast. I know I got a little deep. I felt like I got a little preachy, but I hope y'all got something out of that innuendo studio video. And just keep on, man, looking up this stuff on y'all own. Despite me, I just tell y'all stuff that's interesting to me and give y'all a little bit of background of where I got my stuff from. You know, where I got my ideas and topics and shit from. But still, I encourage y'all, man, look it up on your own and just look deeper into it. You might learn something that I don't know. You could bring it back to me. Like, man, remember that one thing you was talking about? I looked it up and boom, bam, in the third. So just, man, let's grow this community. And I appreciate y'all for watching. Everybody that watched, if you ain't hit me with a like, hit that video with a like. If you ain't subscribed to the channel, then I would definitely appreciate if you subscribe. You know, I invite you to subscribe and like the channel and everything like that. I appreciate the viewership. And yeah, we gonna enjoy the rest of this hump day, man. I got something I gotta take care of and shit, so we gonna get that done. And yeah, we just gonna take it easy, man. I appreciate y'all again. I love y'all, and I will see y'all tomorrow, 1 o'clock, YouTube live, MacWorld live. Later.